that was a challenge to us to provide optimal treatment to those affected. Now the concern was those who are already affected. It is not their fault, and prevent the birth of further children with disease through carrier screening, genetic counsel, and prenatal diagnosis. Where the facilities has already been started. I think Dr. Jina knows about it, that they have started with the prenatal diagnosis services. In many of the states, we have started with the prenatal diagnosis services, and especially the aims are the centers which will be initiating these services for in each and every state. The new initiative and vision under the National Health Mission provides a golden opportunity to administer adequate therapies for those infected, making them lead a better life. So our concern was that if we give the medication or we do the monitoring of these patients, but the rehabilitation part is equally important for these patients, so they lead a normal life. That is very important when you talk about the patient, any patient. Our concern at the Government of India is any patient who is working, who is suffering from the disease and blood disorders like aplastic also, and other diseases which are not able to be cured as soon as possible. So rehabilitation is one a chance where you can get them lead a good life. So we also did a health economics, and we find that this prevention was far better than the management part. So when we started looking at these health economics, and there was a study from Dr. Roshan Kola, who is supposed to be the ex-director of NIH, National Institute of Immunohematology. She did a study and she said ki it is basically, if we start doing the prevention program, the per capita income and everything was checked, and we found that it is coming to more than that. So the per capita income, which was very less, and the compared to the management, it was quite high. So you can see that we have just estimated 50 years, if a person is living, then how much is the money? It's around 100 crores which come if 1% of the people survive. So now you see the treatment cost individual, and you can see the prevention. And so what happens if we do the screening? It's just 6 crores. If we do 12,000 beta thalassemia children are born, if we do the screening, only 6 crores are being spent. But if we take the total cost of the treatment, it's 240 crores. Now you can very well understand how we can judge out these kids, that the treatment versus screening. So screening was more focused on in this area. So now you can see all these slides, and you can always see the cost estimate and transplant corrective surgery, how much it affects. What is the cost which comes for the effective surgeries? So this was also calculated, because when you are drafting any of the guidelines or you are having some information about such things, then only the budget can be released to the state, which is important. And the state can also take advantage of these slides, so they can go ahead what exactly has to be done by the state level, at the state level. So our journey started with the technology, know-how and means to adequately treat and control both thalassemia and sickle cell disease were available, but which was not initiated as an intervention for various reasons before 2014. So step towards the journey of blood disorders, guidelines for prevention was started in 2015 and disseminated to the state in 2016. Guidelines aimed at creating protocol for and benchmarks to improve the quality life of the patient. It also guide on prevention and control, which includes antenatal, prenatal testing to reduce the incidence of live hemoglobin disorders births, and state were requested to propose in their PIPs in consultation with the state health department. So why I'm saying that states were requested, because the funds, which was very important earlier, it wasn't there in the states. Some of the states were doing some part in very limited manner. So we wanted that these patients should not suffer, and we need to have this screening program to reduce down the births of these blood disorders patients. So now how we reach the aspirations is like 29 states have started with the program, and we focus is on prevention as well as the management of blood disorders. So counseling is the first part, which is very important. You avoid marriage between two careers, genetic counseling, community education and awareness, which is very important. And this has been achieved through the IC division of the NHM, and other people also, the communities like you people have done it. So this is a type of a community education and awareness for us. Establishment, creating laboratory facilities for testing and confirmation of hemoglobin carriers at district level, which is very important. Like a person, a lady who's coming to a facility, basically for her antenatal checkup. So that can be taken care of by doing the CBC, and finally the confirmation with HPLC or electrophoresis, which is compatible with the states and the centers. Establishing regional centers, COE in state, with the facilities of prenatal diagnosis, which I said that it has been initiated, and laboratory facilities for DNA analysis, which is very important, and still it's a challenge for us. So I think most of the experts will agree that still it's a challenge. And screening, cost effective population screening at the PSC level, as I said, with CBC, solubility test, electrophoresis, point of care device, genetic screening, HPLC, whatsoever. Prenatal diagnosis, where the both partners are carriers, where the option of termination in case of affected fetus, and extended family screening of all known detected carriers and the patient. So extended family screening is meant for especially for those people who are already affected. Newborn screening, because we can always identify the carriers of sickle cell disease, and so it was important that we do the newborn screening especially for the sickle cell. Adolescent screening was again an important task, and we started with the adolescent screening with the RBSK program, where the teams go and get their things tested for the school children and the adolescents as well. So information and education, which is very important for us, was that IC activities are being carried out with the aim that the community understand about hemoglobinopathies and treatment and prevention modalities. Mass communication media to incorporate with NHM, IC at national and district state level. Media activities, incorporation of messages regarding hemoglobinopathies within the NHM program, including information and messages about hemoglobinopathies in the school textbooks. Delhi state had initiated, and school health program and adolescent programs, and PowerPoint assisted educative talks and educational booklets distributed to students during school visits. So this is important when we are giving these education talks to the people. So they have to understand that what exactly though they are sufferer, they are carrier, but they are not understanding their own status, health status, which is very important. So for the management of hemoglobinopathies, it's like you provide optimal care to all thalassemia sickle patients at the district level, ensuring the blood bank facility. So blood bank facilities has been basically initiated, and the concern was that where we don't have no blood bank facilities, we have started establishing our blood storage centers, where we are also trying to have put the components over there. The new blood storage guidelines, which are very much into pipeline and can see the light within 2 or 3 months, you will see that the blood storage center will also have the component separation. The component will be put in there. The components will be prepared at the blood banks, and the components will be kept at the blood storage center. So when I talk of components, that means the red cells, the plasma, and the platelets. So platelets, during Dengue we also require platelets, and for plasma we understand that in hemophilia we require plasma. So iron chelation drugs and free blood are available to the patients. However, bone marrow transplant is the only curative therapy we understand, and is a well-established and accepted therapy. So identification of such centers with the help of the state governments. Now in UP only, we have started with 2 more centers. SGPGI was one of the center, and now another center has come up in BHU, where we have already started with the transplant. Even in MP also, Dr. Munshi is there. He will also like to elaborate that we have 2 transplant centers over there also. And people from private hospitals are coming, giving their free services to go ahead with the transplant. Now training, which was very important to us, was universal training module. We developed our universal training module, which is very important because I understand my pediatricians, because we don't have hematologists across the country. Even the pediatricians are not knowing the entire subject. So our concern was we have to have the universal training modules, which are accessible on the sites also and can be taken up in the individual institutes. So like physician, pediatricians, for pathologists also, these modules are important. Increased feasibility of antenatal screening by training personnel of sampling techniques and with the help of the tertiary care centers where they are known, and train healthcare personnel for delivery of genetic counsel services for family at risk. So now we have identified 6 training centers. That is, one is AIIMS Delhi, then another one is in Calcutta, then CMC Vellore, then another center is basically SGPGI Lucknow, PGI Chandigarh. So these are the centers where we are started with the training, and some of the states have already gone through the trainings, and having the privilege of understanding the program in a better way. So financial support for obtaining treatment regime, we are just trying to help through our PIP process. We are trying to help the states that the support from NHM is there for the initiation of these activities. Universal treatment costs across the country. We didn't want that. In some of the state we were finding that the treatment cost is so high, and but in some other state it is slightly reduced. So now we want that universal treatment costs across the country, and here everybody has to participate, saying that the companies has to give the nominal rates, whatever state we are giving in one state, that the same rate has to be given into other states. This sorry, it's very important that the universal treatment cost is there across the country. A system of surveillance and registry is being established to track and evaluate outcomes such as patient registered, how many patients are registered, number of careers, couples opting for prenatal diagnosis, number of careers detected, school, pre-med stage. So recently, I think Asmita will be informing about that 31 lakh people were screened. And out of that, we find that around 10% population was affected. So this was a challenge to it. When we came to know, they also got a Guinness Book of World Record saying that the maximum screening has been done in Chhattisgarh. But the concern was that so much people have been affected with these diseases. So this was not so known. So this surveillance and screening programs are going to help and tell us in a better way. Even in MP, they are going to start with this program very soon. I think within 2 or 3 days they are going to start, with Dr. Munshi will be elaborating it, because I know about these things because the government of India is able to fund for these screening programs in a better way, for the screening as well as for the management of the program. So what we are doing for establishing of ICHS centers, because it's again an important thing that these integrated center for hemoglobinopathies and hemophilia are established. So the people go directly to the centers to get the in treatment done. And about the blood information, the e-Rakt Kosh is already there, which tell us about the which blood is available in the blood bank, and the thalassemia and sickle cell patient can directly enroll themselves to get the blood in the time limits. Informing community and about appropriate treatment and management option, making these available through public health facilities. So we want that maximum people should come to the public health facilities, which is a better option. So political will and advocacy, we all understand that is very important. A small CSR project is also going with Coal India, where 120 BMTs has been done so far. And this project was initiated with Coal India, still running. Due to coronavirus period, we have stopped doing transplants because this was difficult for us, because the patient were not able to move and all these things were there. So, but more PSU help is required to take forward step towards prevention and cure of these blood disorders, because this money which what we at the government of India is doing, and I'm finding with these states also, every year the money is increasing, the budget is increasing everywhere. And it is surprising that, and thanks to government of India and my senior officials who have really taken up this matter, and the funds are going in a larger scale, where my states will, people will tell you how much when the money has been given from GOI. So challenges are still that comprehensive care and management of tertiary care, including rehabilitation. Again, I am saying rehabilitation, which is a very important context for us, because rehabilitation makes a person in a well-being, well-organized way. Establishing hematopoietic stem cell transplant centers in the state, which is again a challenge. Augment facilities for stem cell collection and storage, again a challenge. I cannot say, because in government it is not there, they only the private. And initiation of stem cell donor registry at the government's end, which is very important. You can see some of the this is the transplant picture, because this girl has been got the stem cell transplant done, and these are poor children. The BPL patients have been taken care, whose yearly income is less than 5 lakh rupees. So this is a project which has been taken up with the Ministry of Health and Coal India, and thanks to Coal India for this, that they have taken up this project, and 200 transplants has to be done. Out of that, 120 has been done, 18. But again, they are coming up with the new project where they are going to facilitate thalassemia transplant as well as the aplastic transplant. So Dr. Jena, be ready for that. I will be taking your help in this regard as well, and we all can work together to get together events. So I request you all that you all are needed in a better way to come forward and tell us your views about what exactly government of India can improvise in helping the hemoglobinopathies patient. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, madam, for the detailed presentation. We are grateful to you. There was one question from Dr. Sanjeev for you. Does
Mhm.
Government of India is going to establish a dedicated center for hemoglobinopathies in the
Yeah.
state of Jharkhand or Uttar Pradesh? I think
See,
Uttar Pradesh you have just mentioned.
Uttar Pradesh, we have 14 centers, Dr. Sanjeev, 14 centers in Uttar Pradesh. Integrated, they are called as Integrated Center for Hemoglobinopathies and Hemophilia. In Jharkhand also, we have established three. Two are functional and one is still not functional. So another 3, 4 centers will be coming soon. In every state, we have established, and across the country, is around 140 centers has been already established, that is integrated center for hemoglobinopathies and hemophilia, where the transfusion infusions are being given to the patients coming to the government facilities, and that too they are totally free of cost. None of the things are being charged in these government facilities and in our centers.
One more question from for you from
Mhm.
Dr. Somin Tanti.
Mhm.
Why it is more observed in the tribal population?
So the mutation part is again a challenge for us. The tribals get married between each other. That is the one concern why the mutations are happening so much. That's why it comes. The problem is between the tribals, and now it has been they are migrating to other places, so that it has been seen in the other places as well. That is the
Thank you very much, madam. Now I invite Dr. Asmita Behra, State Consultant, Blood Cell NHM, Chhattisgarh.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
yes, Smita.
Yeah.
Yes.
Carry on.
Okay. So I'm going to speak about sickle cell disease in Chhattisgarh scenario. So as we all know, sickle cell anemia has been a major public health problem in Chhattisgarh. Recently, our new Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel also he kept telling that it is the most important and most challenging public health disease faced by the state. So basically, in our state, we have three blood disorders, as ma'am also kept telling. We have sickle cell anemia, thalassemia, and hemophilia. But sickle cell has been consistently, it keeps cropping up all the time. And since tomorrow is again a big day for us, so we are also going to publish a lot of IEC in our state in newspapers. I hope I can share that with you tomorrow again. So what is sickle cell disorder in Chhattisgarh? So what is the prevalence of sickle cell disorder here? We have about 10% carriers in our state and 1% diseased patients in the whole state. And this has been consistent. It is not like we do it in a tribal district, so it comes different, or in a non-tribal district. That has been surprising actually for us as well. Establishment of Sickle Cell Institute. So the program has been running, in parts since 2008. There was this project, Sickle Cell Project, which started in around 2013 in Raipur Medical College. Raipur is actually the capital of Chhattisgarh. So it has been serving as a referral and research center since then, because it was a big problem, So they started doing it till then, and they had teams and they underwent sickle cell tests in schools as well as community. Basically, it was backed up by DHS a little later on. The program was actually sickle cell program. It started at district level for ANC school, Anganwadi children, and everybody. When it was initiated in October 2017. So what we did was we finalized a lot of clinical protocols and we issued it to district. So before it was in like a small center, and now it has been expanded to the whole state. We have everybody in all the districts. They have been working for sickle cell. Program guidelines with clear responsibility at each level were finalized. So there are specific responsibilities given to an ANM or a staff nurse or a block medical officer or a sickle cell nodal officer for everybody what they have to do, and they were given to the districts. And there were cards which were designed for sickle cell disease as well as sickle cell trait individuals. So a red card and a yellow card was given to different people. Reporting formats were developed. So now what we do is we have this online reporting system, and the districts report online to us, and it is a little easier. We keep having these block meetings and district level meetings and state level meetings, and all this is done. So what are our objectives? Our objectives is, first is to diagnose sickle cell disease and carrier in all children belonging to age group 3 to 18 years in Anganwadis and government schools. Second is to diagnose sickle cell disease and carriers in all pregnant women and their husbands coming for ANC in government health centers. Third is we want to provide essential free treatment and rehabilitation services for all diagnosed sickle cell patients. Now this is important. as we have been giving free treatment for all of them, we also had a community survey from Methanins, that is basically your ASHA workers. They came and told us that, a lot of patients have been having medicines since last 2 years. All of them have been given free medicines. Hydroxyurea is given, and folic acid is given, and this has changed drastically the number of blood units needed for all these patients as well. We also provide free counseling to all sickle cell diseased patients and as well as carriers. So what do we do in Chhattisgarh? Steps. Basically, the program is integrated with the health system, the sickle cell program. So first we do is screening. We do it in Anganwadi, schools and different health centers. Then the confirmatory tests are done in all the hospitals, that is community health centers, district hospitals, medical colleges, as well as Sickle Cell Institute. Then we do treatment and counseling. Treatment starts basically from CHC level. We don't give it in primary health centers. It is done in community health centers, district hospitals, medical colleges, and Sickle Cell Institute. Also, we provide mobility support to these patients because most of these patients are from BPL and they need money to come and go to and fro from the hospitals or for blood transfusion or whatsoever. So how do we do the screening? Basically, we have this general screening and ANC screening. Basically, general screening is done all the time in our health centers, which is done by our ANM. And again, whichever pregnant woman is there, they are screened for ANC during their ANC, and also by our lab technicians in community health centers and district hospitals. What we do under RBSK, that is Rashtriya Bal Swasthya Karyakram, is that there are these Chirayu teams. They keep going to Anganwadi centers and schools. So we have these lab technicians appointed under Chirayu. They go and screen a lot of children as well there. Next, what we do, how we do is the screening method. We have the solubility test. It takes just about 10 to 15 minutes to obtain results. So whoever is solubility positive can give their blood sample then and there itself for confirmation. Next, how do we do is, the confirmation is that we do it by electrophoresis, whoever is found positive in that. So we do it in our community health centers or district hospitals. If it's needed, we also do HPLC tests in Sickle Cell Institute as well as sickle cell units. We have about 4 sickle cell units as well in our state, which can do HPLC test. Treatment. So what are we doing in treatment is, again, I told you in CHCs, the district hospitals and Sickle Cell Institute, we give hydroxyurea and folic acid tablets. Free blood transfusion is given to all the needy patients. Again, I would like to emphasize that last week, we just had our last government hospital in the district. It was established. That is, we have government hospitals in all the districts. Before we didn't have in Narayanpur, there was just a district hospital. Now we have government blood banks, that is, we have in all the districts. That is a very big thing because we have a lot of patients who might need blood, and that I think is a very important step. So all these patients are given free blood transfusion. Counseling is given to all these patients who are found positive in solubility tests. Counseling is a major part in our state, I think, because it's not just that we have a lot of patients. We have a lot of sickle cell trait as well, as ma'am already mentioned. I'll show you the number again later on. So the reporting is done, I told you, in online portal. We also collect a separate monthly reporting by districts, which is done by the sickle cell nodal officers. We connected in our mail. That's a different kind of thing, like, how many tribals are involved or non-tribals or such kind of things. So the training, there has been an orientation and training program for the chief medical health officers and civil surgeons. Also, Sickle Cell Institute and AIMS has trained a lot of medical officers, nodal officers, and lab technicians and counselors. We had a training recently, in fact, just before Corona, we were planning to do it for all the medical officers. We had one training and it got cut off because we wanted to do a refresher training for everybody in the state. A district level training of an ANM and lab technicians has also been done, and for all these nodal RBSKs as well as nodal sickle cell. Budget is basically provided by NHM. Everything is provided by NHM. We have money coming from NHM for blood drugs. That has been very helpful, really, because all these patients have been getting medicines. We have I'll show you the slides. We have a lot of patients who are getting medicines. They're getting free, diagnostic done. Everything is being done. The nodal center in our state is basically DHS and Sickle Cell Institute. Nodal officer is actually a deputy director appointed by DHS. He's also, in our state, it is Dr. S.K. Bhinjwar, as I told you. And in Sickle Cell Institute is basically like a referral center. So we kind of work together because it's a big thing. And we kind of, our chief minister has also told that he wants to build it into a big, excellent institute in our state later on. We'll see how it goes about because everything has been stopped right now. So this is a big slide, which I think it should I kind of shows the kind of impact we have in our state. So sickle cell screening till May 2020 in Chhattisgarh. So the total number screened in our state is this many till now, 57 lakhs. That is a very big number. Right now we have these many patients, 10,824. All have been getting medicines. This also, again, I told you, it is being done in our, all these community surveys and everything. We have total AS states we have right now is 2,24,928. So the new initiatives, daycare centers, we want to establish daycare centers for sickle cell anemia, thalassemia, and hemophilia in 5 government medical colleges of Chhattisgarh. We have had an MOU with all these government medical colleges. We are having a little difficulties because we are not getting HR. We have, given a lot of invitations, but it has been very difficult to get doctors, and it's always been a difficult thing in our state. Anyway, in collaboration with the Sickle Cell Institute. So this is still going on, but we are, buying HPLC machines, more HPLC machines to do the test and everything. So the test will be conducted in such daycare centers, and essential diagnosis, treatment, and counseling will also be provided. So this is like an extra thing, so that all the 5 divisions have more number of beds to at least, just keep the patients there. Even now, Sickle Cell Institute has a lot of patients. At least, I think about every day they have at least 300 OPD. I mean, which includes older patients and new patients, everything together, 300, at least 300 patients coming in every day. You can come in and see that as well anytime anybody wants to. Budget for human resources and equipments, again, have been provided. Everything has been provided by NHM. So what do we want to do? We want to establish daycare centers in all divisions of the state, as I already mentioned. Again, we want to provide free pneumococcal vaccines for sickle cell patients in tribal areas. This also, we have been having a talk with the tribal department here because they wanted to give us money for sickle cell anemia. So we want to give them free vaccines, at least starting in the tribal areas, then probably going it slowly in all the other areas as well. Because since we have a lot of patients, so the costing has been a very, very high in our state. Again, we are planning to do, right now we are doing it, CVS test under, we have this BKBSSY, that is our insurance program for that pregnant woman, but it has not been covering all the costs because we don't have any government center doing chorionic villus test. Right now we have only this private facility who has been doing it. So after some time, I think in the second phase, I think in about 2 or 3 months, we'll be completely, charging free for the patients. Again, we keep having refresher trainings of medical officers and lab technicians in coordination with AIIMS and Sickle Cell Institute. So we have a lot of doctors coming in from AIIMS or from our department and medical college. Everybody keeps chipping in, and we keep having refresher trainings. Thank you. That's all from me. Any questions would first?
Thank you very much, madam. A lot of work is going on in state of Chhattisgarh at grassroots level.
Yeah.
We have learned a lot from you.
So this initiative has been taken by the Government of India with the state health departments and blood cell at NHM. We have blood cell at all the states, and these nodal officers of blood cell, Dr. Smith and Dr. Bhinjwar, who have been working very hard. So the proposals has been made with the help of GOI, and all these screening programs and whatever Smita has said, we have started in maximum in 29 states. This has been initiated. So what she was talking about, the daycare center, it is ICHS centers, which has been going to take care for thalassemia, hemophilia, and sickle cell disease. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam. There are a couple of questions. Does Government of India consider infection control through immunization for sickle cell disease as pneumococcal disease?
So pneumococcal vaccine, as Asmita said, we are also having convergence with the Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Recently, we had a meeting and they have said that wherever is required, we will be taking care of these pneumococcal vaccine in the tribal areas. That is already been taken care of.
They actually approved in our state. Actually, they told us that they will give for about I think 900 patients or so in the beginning, and later they were about like for 3,000 patients. Actually, we had it approved, but for now, it got stuck, as you know, because of COVID, and a lot of things have been stuck.
So another question connected to this asked by Durga Prasad Mishra ji. Are these sickle cell patients also getting access to vaccines? What vaccines are considered?
Vaccines, whatever is required. See, it is basically the state health is taking care of whatever is required. The immunizations are free for any children coming to the government facilities. So immunization, if we talk about the other immunizations also, it has been done free of cost in each and every state. If the child is coming to the government facilities.
Thank you, madam. Now, there are a couple of questions more, but we will take in the panel. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Shivaji Kumar, State Commissioner for PWDs and Social Welfare Department, Government of Bihar.
Yes, namaskar, good evening to everyone. Just I got the program schedule and I was just going through, it was more related to COVID-19. And I will be focusing more on the part from disability side, what the benefits could we get the person who is having the sickle cell diseases. So would like to share some, as you know, that previously the act was PWD Act 1995, Person with Disability Act 1995. Now the year 2016, the act named as a RPWD Act, Rights of Person with Disability Act, and under that earlier it was only 7 disability were recognized as a disability. Now there are 21 types of disability under ZC Section 2 of RPD Act. So the thalassemia, sickle cell anemia, and hemophilia, blood-related disorder. I will be focusing more on during the COVID-19 and lockdown situation. Can I share my screen? Yeah, I will go to website. How to go share the computer sounds. Yeah, is it visible to everyone? Hello? Yes. Yeah. So I will be sharing what we are doing. It is on our website, and see what we are doing during the COVID-19. We have issued the voice complaint number 844-838-5590. This is the helpline number. I think we are getting this call from other state also. This is the voice complaint. So if the person is having only the mobile, any phone, they can, anywhere, the person who are sitting here also, they can call it. So we have in our website who has called us and from where they have called and what is the problems. So during the lockdown, the more than 19,000 person with disability from the Bihar, they got benefited from this voice complaint. We have the online complaint. Yes, you can, I will go online what is happening. It's a very simple one. Once we do online complaint from the mobile, it is already written. As you know, the State Commissioner for Person with Disability having the civil court power. So any problems if they are facing to the ration card or any pension or whatever they are facing, so they can put all the relevant documents here. Once it comes, then we organize online court also, e-court also. So that is a thing we would like to say. We have another things like online e-court. If they want some come through our court, so just they have to online VC court. It's a voice video conferencing court. So we'll click here. We'll see what. Yeah. From the mobile, the person with disability, even he is suffering from blood disorder also, is written Raj Ayukt Nisarjan Bihar का न्यायालय लोक अदालत. So if उनको कोई भी समस्या है, whatever the problems he is facing, अगर वो यहाँ भर देते हैं, we find even the person is disabled and not met the certificate also. So you know the UDID is there. How many person knowing UDID? So UDID means unique disability identity card also. So person who is suffering from blood disorder also, they can apply for UDID from their district hospitals. We have and our Bihar, it is available in PSC level also, all block level also. So as you know, see, we are also going to organize this one, World Sickle Cell Awareness Day tomorrow. So already in the Bihar, the awareness is very poor, and because we are dealing only the disability part, so only when I can answer the benefit side and the grievances, the redressal of the grievances. So person is having any problems regarding to their benefits, like if they need the blood. I know almost all the districts headquarters, there is the blood bank. If he or she required the blood, is a free of cost, and within they have to apply for, I think, 1 week before, if needed. Then within the week they will be getting the free blood. And we just on 14th June, we have started daycare center at PMCH also. So likewise, everything we are putting on the website. So that's why I wanted to share my website. So any person who is suffering from disability, including blood related disorder, thalassemia, sickle cell anemia, and hemophilia, they get all the benefits. What are the benefits? I will tell you. The pension benefits. Another thing, ration card, and under ration card, Antyodaya Yojana, the 35 kg, the 21 kg rice and 14 kg wheat, matlab 35 kg, the Antyodaya Yojana, the benefit could be get. And another thing, all as RPWD Act under 37, it says that all the development and poverty alleviation schemes, 5% reservation is there. So the blood related disorder, person with disabled also can avail the facilities of the benefits for under the RPWD Act. And another thing, if the priority, as you know, in any schemes, the priority is given to person with disability. So blood related disorders, as a person or their family also could get benefited through the in any part. Even he wants to job, there is a 5% job reservation in the private sector, and there is a 4%. So, and the higher education also there is a 5%. But in the government job, blood related disorder yet not added. So please, but in the private sector, we have made one circular, the 5% reservation are there for person with disabilities, including the blood related disorder. But government job is not included the blood related disorder yet. Another thing, for health point of view, I am not much aware about that. Only I know those persons suffering from blood related disorder, if wants to certificate, within the week they can get certificate. Once they get certificate, then they can apply for UDID. And once they get the UDID, he will get all the facilities the person with disability and under what the Bihar government is giving, as well as the government of India is given. And they can also come under our court also. We have a static court, mobile court, and e-court also. If any properties problems is there, if any violation of rights is there, if any discrimination is there, whatever. During the COVID-19, as you know, we have deputed one senior IAS officer as a nodal officer to bringing them to hometown. So once the person is suffering from blood related disorder and once they get the disability certificates, all the benefits they can avail. So that's through this webinar, I would like to request you. I don't know how many in other state person suffering from the blood related disorder, how many person got the disability certificates. If they have not yet started, I request them, please go in any civil surgeon offices or any PSC and any hospitals. In Bihar, we have hospital also are given permission, and we have 101 Bunyad Kendra. All the subdivisions, we have the Bunyad Kendra where the professional are deputed, like the occupational therapist, like a physiotherapist, like a PNDO, like a special educator, counselor, health workers, then the psychologist. All the rehab professional has been appointed, and all 101 subdivision. But during the COVID-19, I have instructed the government, and government has appointed one special educators or the expert in disability in each blocks. And what are the grievances they raised? We have sending them, and they are redressing the grievances. So that's the benefit they are getting, and that's why what are the data of sickle cell thalassemia? I know, because thalassemia people, there are one parent association they have made it, and we have started many things for thalassemic PWD, but I am not much aware about the sickle cell disease people, how many is in Bihar, because I am not yet aware any person with sickle cell diseases got the certificate in my knowledge. But thalassemia, many thalassemia PWD got the certificates. Thank you very much. Any question, then can I answer?
Thank you very much, Dr. Shivaji Kumar, and I know he's doing a great job with all disabled people, and it's really great. So, Rajesh, our next presentation is Dr. Atul.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Atul is working in Ranchi and doing a great job for thalassemics and sickle patients. He runs a full-fledged daycare center there, and so I think he would be a great help. And Atul, please go ahead. अतुल आवाज नहीं आ रही है. अतुल unmute.
Sorry. Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Just before I start, there are a few corrections I would like to make. I'm not a doctor. Secondly, the center is run by Sadar Hospital Ranchi, and we just support the center. And the Southern Hospital Ranchi actually supported by NHM, but we facilitate them, support them in on certain things like collection of blood, and there is an MOU with us, and what we voluntarily do, we do it free of cost for them as a passion. It's a group who does it for them and out of passion. So I think after hearing Ms. Asmita Behra, so actually, I didn't have much thing to make on a presentation because we as Jharkhand, I think I still feel we are still at the starting point, and there is a lot to do here. And I think there are a couple of points I would like to make, and I don't have much to say, but there are a lot of challenges what we need to address here in Jharkhand, and a small experience which I'd like to share. So starting because we don't have a hematologist here in Jharkhand, not a single hematologist, I think the state has really faced a challenge of, on technical expertise. And on serious note, patients have really been suffering. So suffering, why I say so, because once this daycare center, the first daycare center in Ranchi, when it opened, I think we have, like ma'am already said, that there were a few more which were functional, but meaningfully there is only one which is functional. There are other centers, I think, but there are a lot of more things which are yet to happen to make it meaningfully get started. So we still cry for a hematologist, and before that, I think, and there are a lot of things like बहुत सारी छोटी-छोटी चीजें हैं what we have seen in the center. The center we support in Ranchi have 560 children coming. Out of 560, there are like 120, 130 sickle cell anemics. So बहुत छोटी-छोटी बातें जैसे आपको हर घंटे पानी पीना है, इतनी छोटी सी बात भी उससे पहले बच्चों को नहीं पता थी. So अब आपको हाई ऑल्टीट्यूड पे नहीं जाना है, तो बहुत सारी छोटी छोटी बातें which we could come across later while meeting or bringing a lot of people and getting CMEs at a very small level done in Ranchi. So I think we have started from here, and I think we are still on the starting point. So there are screening happenings, and I have also known that a lot of districts have been certain NGOs have got a work of getting the screening done, but unfortunately it has not come up with a meaningful result. So like recently I was known that I had data of 12 couples who were supposed to go for finally CVC, and they could not reach the center where they were supposed to reach, just because what I could see that one point what Asmita showed, that mobility. So I think that was the missing link here. So and we actually had to facilitate them from one district to our place in Ranchi, and the whole plan didn't have that part, which was not bringing those poor couples to the place where they were supposed to come. It was charging them 2,000 rupees, which they could not afford. And when I see on the other side, this project has already been crossed some 50 lakh rupees. So how couldn't that 2,000 or some thousand on that mobility be adjusted and to make it actually meaningful and result oriented? So again, we are short of, we don't have a prenatal test in Ranchi, or rather in Jharkhand. The samples go out of the state. There are, halaki abhi Ranchi mein, there is some Umeed project, I think, in the medical college here, which has started, but again, the link is missing. So there are things which again, what government is still NHM working, but I think I see serious lack of monitoring on the part of at the upper level, because I'm pretty sure that they are going to be short of good results. So we are really short of collecting right datas, information जो बहुत सारी आनी चाहिए, they have been missing. अब बहुत छोटी सी बात, I think what I understood from a few trainings and conferences in very small level. I was there also in Mumbai with Mrs. Vinita Shrivastava was also there. So there we were also discussing that Chhattisgarh had reduced their sickle cell dependency on blood, but sickle cell children or patients in Jharkhand are more blood dependent. But one thing, like availability of hydroxyurea, that's still a challenge. You could be on figures. There are coming up 5 commissionaries. So until date, I am telling you, there is only one center in Ranchi which has hydroxyurea available, and there is no hydroxyurea in any district. In 20 districts, it's not there. The fund has for last year has got released, I think, a week back. And only after I kept on tweeting to CM, and then only I got a paper from NHM that the fund has gone, which was supposed to go there a year back. So I think I don't know where there is something missing, but I think I seriously see that we are short of very strict monitoring what is actually required in Jharkhand right now. And I think we are not asking action taken. We are not asking, what meaningful results are coming out of so many lakhs being spent. Money is being spent, there is no doubt. And yes, money is important. NHM has been